What's up everyone, welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to be doing my spring maintenance on my lawnmower, which is a Toro Timemaster. This is a great mower. I bought it last year. It's actually been a real time saver for me. If you clicked on this video, you're probably thinking about doing this yourself at your house. This is actually really simple, really easy. Should take you probably 20 minutes to do the whole thing. Yeah, let's jump into it. In order to get started, you're going to need a few things. One is a oil drain pan of some sort, or something that you can catch the oil in. You're going to need a new spark plug, and you're also going to need some oil. And the last thing you're going to need is actually a air filter, and my local Home Depot did not have a filter for this, so I had to order one. But I'll show you where you change it right here. This one is quite dusty and dirty. I will have to do that another day because they didn't have it at my local Home Depot. So I've ordered one off of Amazon, and it should be here in a couple of days, and I'll change it then. Just put the new one down on top. Make sure it gets seated like that. Put the cover back on. Finished. Alright, so I just let the lawnmower run for about 3 or 4 minutes outside to kind of let the oil warm up so it'll be easier to drain. We're going to do a couple of things here before we tip the lawnmower over. Now, I don't know, for whatever reason, a while back these small engine manufacturers stopped putting drain plugs into these things, so you actually have to tip the lawnmower over to drain the oil out of the fill. And so you basically have to pull the dipstick out, and then all the oil will come out of that. And clearly you can see, you know, the distance between here and there is, I don't know, about a foot or so. And when you tip it over, it's going to have to pour out into this guy. But before you turn the lawnmower over, you should always pull the spark plug lead off. That way you don't have any accidental misfires and cause yourself some issue. We're going to change that spark plug anyway, so we'll let that hang there for now. And then we'll get the drain pan set up, and we'll actually tip this lawnmower over. Now there's a couple of guys I saw that have videos where they've set up a vacuum system so you can actually draw the oil out of the dipstick area. But I'm kind of lazy and I don't want to do that, so I'm just going to go ahead and tip this thing over and pour it out. This lawnmower is actually fairly heavy. It's heavier than a normal one, so if you don't feel like you're strong enough to be able to tip this thing over on its side, maybe setting up yourself one of those vacuum things to draw the oil out of the dipstick, maybe that's better for you. But for me, I'm just going to tip this thing over. It should be drained here in less than a minute, and then we'll put it back on its edge, swap out the spark plug, get all this stuff put together, and we'll be done. All right. I think that's kind of a good area for it. All right, make sure you take the dipstick out, put that to the side. If you're like me and you usually make a mess of things, make sure you have a few shop rags that you can clean up the oil in case you spill it everywhere. Not guaranteeing that I'm not going to make a mess, so let me get some rags first. But I'll probably give it another minute or so, try to get as much oil out of there as possible. Okay, one of the other things I noticed when I was moving the lawnmower a little bit is that if I rock it kind of back and forth a little bit like this, it actually ends up helping some of the oil drain a little bit more. So trying to get more of the old oil out, just kind of giving a little bit of rocking back and forth. It starts to drain a little bit more of the oil out. Alright, now it's time to fill it up. Drop in your little funnel there. This is the oil I'm using here. Alright, we're going to leave it like that for now. We're going to change the spark plug, run the engine for a minute, check the level, and if I need to top it off, I'll top it off. I'm not quite sure how much oil was left in this thing after I drained it, so I don't want to overfill it. So I'll do spark plug, run it for a minute, recheck the level, and see where we're at. Alright, I got things situated now. We're going to change the spark plug, but before I do, some of you guys actually might be wondering, am I going to sharpen the blade or am I going to actually change out the blade? I'm actually not going to. Like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, this lawnmower is actually only 1 year old. I've already lifted the mower and looked at the blades. There's no nicks or dings or anything in the blades. Plus also, I have done one cut this season so far with this. The lawn cut looks totally fine at this point. Anyway, but if you do need to change your blades out or if you need to sharpen your blades, I am not covering that in this video. Alright, so in order to change out the spark plug, you're going to need a 16mm deep socket, and it fits snug right over top of that, and then you just loosen it. Take it out. There you go, there's the old one. Actually, it looks totally fine, and in fact, this spark plug would probably run and be totally fine for a bunch more years, but spark plugs are cheap. Change it once a year, you're good. Old plug and new plug side by side. Also, it looks like I'm going to need to gap this plug down, so I'm going to go get my spark plug gap tool and gap this down a little bit, and I'll be right back. Alright, so this spark plug, if you've got one of these, this is a spark plug gapping tool. As you can see on here, it has a little hook that you basically take this hook and you hook it onto here. Then you can bend it either closer or further away depending upon how you need to gap the plug. And then you use these little wires to kind of fit, if you can, hopefully you can see it here on the camera, but you basically stick this little wire in to there and it tells you the depth of your spark plug gapping. So this is a 0.25. That's where this is gapped. And on the new spark plug, you can see the 0.25 just slides in and out of there really simple. So I'm actually going to use this little tool and bend it down so that way it's a little bit closer. Hopefully, hard to see on the camera, but this is actually bending a little bit. Find my 0.25 mark again and then try to slip that in there, and as you can see now it just barely fits. Alright, we got our new spark plug. We're going to put it in. You don't need to over tighten these things. They don't need a whole lot of torque. Just basically hand tighten them. That should do it. Alright, now you got your new spark plug in. You just need to grab your boot and tuck it down over top and re-plug it back on till it clicks. Like that. And then you're all set. Alright, now we're going to check the oil level, see how we're looking. On here there are two dots. You can see them there with the little waves, 2 dots on both sides. You want this to be on the top of the 2 dots. So in this orientation, it's on the left of the 2 dots. That's where you want the fill level to be. Yeah, so you can do this yourself, really easy. You could probably get it all done in less than 15 minutes. Thanks for watching the video. See you next time.